This is the Seven Figure Agency Podcast. Discover the strategies and techniques to grow a highly successful and profitable digital marketing agency with your host, Josh Nelson.
All right, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us on this special session of the Agency Success Podcast, where we're interviewing successful digital marketing agencies from across the country. And today, I could not be more excited to be interviewing Matt Zivkovic from LeadSmart. He was part of our program about a year ago, somewhere in the last 12 months, and he's had a successful agency over the years. So let him tell the story. But basically, has gone from where he kind of swelled down to about $50,000 a month in recurring, all the way back to over $150,000 over the last 12 months. And so when he was telling me that, I was like, Matt, we got to get you on the podcast. I know that your model's a little bit different than the seven-figure agency model and everything that we do, but there's lots of great insights to be gleaned. So without further ado, Matt, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Josh. Awesome pleasure to be on this. I mean, I couldn't ask to be a better honor to be on this podcast. So looking forward to sharing my story, and hopefully I can help inspire others and give you some nuggets of gold to pick on, and hope everyone gets something out of this.
Fantastic. So if you're excited about this, you're excited about hearing about this journey from 50 to over 150 in less than 12 months, smash a plus, a like in the Facebook group, and let me know that we're on the right track. So before we dive in, just kind of give us the lay of the land. Tell us about your agency, number of clients, recurring revenue, kind of the history, kind of how you got to where you're at right now.
Sure. So I started way back in 2008. I actually had my first website in 1999. So I've been trying to make money off the internet, since I'm 40. So since I was 19, my first dollar ever made actually was from an eBay sale. I was drop shipping camcorders, and that just never left me. And it was an emerging industry, so I kind of got my niche and found where I belonged. In 2008, I launched LeadSmart, which is a lead generation company. Our biggest, from 2008 to 2016, we were strictly SEO. And we charge, instead of charging people for SEO, we charge them on the results, because we really had Google dialed in. We were able to get we had, garage door repair, we had emergency dentist, we had all these major keywords that we were getting, millions of visits from every month, and they were free. The work was done up front, and only work that we had was to try to monetize that traffic. So finding buyers for it. And it was an incredible successful run from 2008 to 16. We had a brick and mortar office. I had all my buddies from childhood and college all working together. Had this huge 2-story office with, we had a foosball table, we had a sauna, we had a workout room, we had a tennis court right next door.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really amazing. Unfortunately, just like any business, and what I really learned, that my first boss ever, I was selling home security systems, and his name was Marty Sanfilippo, Italian guy, Jaguar, chains everywhere. And when I saw him, I was, oh man, I want your life. I want to have the Jaguar of the business. And he told me, no matter what in life, that success looks like this: ups and downs, ups and downs. And the people who don't succeed, it's up, down, and then just straight or straight
never comes back up at all.
Exactly. And so I always knew that. And every time I'd have a little bit of success, I'd a couple steps back, and then I'd slingshot forward a couple steps back. But from 2015 to end of 2016, the down was so significant. We were doing at our peak, we were doing close to about $200,000 a month. And this was with very little overhead whatsoever, because again, all the work was done on the front end. We built these sites, they crushed it, we monetized it, and we just spent time, basically billing them. And it was very, very lucrative and great. But there was 2 updates, the Penguin update and the Panda update, which pretty much squashed our whole strategy. Sent us back to the dark ages in terms of revenue, and it ended that brick and mortar business. I had to, unfortunately, lose friends, lose business partners, restructure. Luckily, there was enough left. There's a faint heartbeat enough left where I was able to really get that back to life. But when I came to the seven-figure agency, I was still down. I was all over the place. I had started. I bought a company called Neckies. You can look them up. It's a cervical collar. I was like, let me change the game. I'm going to get back into e-commerce. It's a cervical collar that has a cover on it that's meant for people to sleep with instead of like one of those pillows. It's a collar. So my garage was filled with thousands of these things, and I realized I need help. And I had already been following Josh because he does HVAC and plumber SEO, and I knew who he was. And then I found out he had the 7-figure agency. I was like, let's see what this guy's got to offer. He clearly knows what he's doing. He's got a model that's lasting, and I don't. So I joined, and I remember your salesperson telling me, you're at the point where you're afraid to take a risk again. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, done, sign up, I'm ready. My model's a little bit different than what Josh's program teaches, obviously, and I will go into it a little bit, but I didn't need that at that point. I had my model, I had already things built. I just didn't realize that I needed to really pick my niche, double down on it, become the authority, and then just boom, boom, boom. Don't focus on anything else but that, because neckies and this and that, all this crazy stuff I was doing was taking away from my core competency. Just focus, focus, focus. So in that year, what I decided was I had realized that I had this enormous book of buyers, of clients who buy leads from me. And I have all of these people that I know from just SEO and from the community that are always asking me to help them. And I figured, why don't I do an affiliate program? Because I had a loose-based affiliate program with a couple partners. And that's when I redid my entire website. I created, instead of writing a book for my authority, I created a program that I sold, and that really helped. And I want to write the book. So that's the next thing to do in terms of creating that brand and creating that well-rounded authority. I started private Facebook groups, and I just changed my model. And I went from having like 4 or 5 loose affiliates to, I think right now we have 350 and growing affiliates that are registered with LeadSmart. And what these affiliates are, kind of what my model is I have all these buyers, and the buyers range from direct contractors, and it's all in the home improvement space and some medical, so a dentist. But we have all these contractors and businesses that buy leads from us. It ranges from the direct contractor to other marketing companies to large marketing companies like Angie's List or Yellow Pages. And what I found is that our monetization methods for, let's say, someone who's just doing affiliate marketing and they want to build websites and push phone calls. They send calls to LeadSmart. We have what's called like a ping tree. We'll figure out the best place to sell that lead to programmably, and that happens in an instant. It sells off to whatever client or buyer or contractor, and then the affiliate makes the lion's share of the revenue, and we take the difference for facilitating the whole transaction. So we have a nice dashboard, we have everything, and it's just skyrocketed. Now, had COVID not hit, we were on pace. We'd probably be doing, and I hate to say probably would have, should have, we'd probably be doing north of $225,000 a month. And even with COVID, we're roaring so hard. We crested over 150 in May. June is off to a crazy start. I mean, maybe we can push that 175. It's just we're back in it, and there's no slowdown. With my model, the way I have it, I have so much more to get, and I just couldn't be happier. And when me and Josh talked a couple weeks ago, going over this, it really was that, in your word, you used that pivot moment in my career, in my life, and I got goosebumps talking about it. Would it have happened without it? I don't know, but it happened, and I got to give a lot of credit to you and your agency.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. One thing you said that I really like is this whole concept of the ups and the downs, right? It might be hard to see, but everybody thinks success goes in a linear way. The reality is it never does, right? It goes up and then it drops, and then it comes up and it drops. I think successful people's ability to deal with those drops and adjust and get focused on where they want to go again is really the determinant of success or failure. And it sounds like that's been big for you in your life and in your business.
Yeah, I think it took me some learning, understanding. I mean, I knew it was happening when it was happening, and I've recognized the pattern all the time. When my business is cresting, let's say right now, really, I'm preparing myself. What if I lose this? What if I lose this? And I have to set myself up so high, at least in my mind, that I can absorb losses. I can absorb big losses. I had a loss, not to get into the weeds about it, but I had to stop using a certain form of marketing for one of my major clients, and it cost me $20,000 a month in revenue, and I had to just turn it off like that. But I didn't even notice it in May. This happened May 10th or 11th. I had to shut it off. And if I look at my month to month, you can't even see it. But again, I'm preparing myself for the big falls because I've been there before. And that's the biggest thing when people start making money. And I've had partners before, previous to my second group of partners that I originally started Lead Smart with, that the success ruined them because when it went away, they thought it was going to last forever. But nothing good time. When they say good times, or when they say this too shall pass in terms of bad times, that is so applicable to good times as well. And you have to live with that mentality.
Just keep even keel. I think the other, like, there was a thought that came to me once, because a lot of times when you think about that up and down roller coaster of running an agency or running a business in general, you think, well, when it's up, I'm happy and I'm excited. Life is grand. When it's down, I'm stressed out. The world is coming to an end. I think, your ability to remain even keel, even when it feels like everything's burning down, to remain even keel and focus on where you're going, focus on the outcome, really will dictate how smoothly you move through those crests and really how much you enjoy the journey.
Totally. Like you can only control what you can control. And that's really what you got to focus on. And it's amazing when you look, when you've been down enough times, you've come back, it really helps build that faith in it. You've got the tools. It's like boxing, or, like you can come back from this. You can get up, you can keep fighting, but you're going to get hit. If you're going to put yourself in the ring, you're going to get hit. That's the cost of success. It's going to be failure. It's built within it.
No doubt. That's great. I think it's great at this moment in time because some of us have taken some really hard punches with COVID-19 and maybe what happened prior to COVID-19, but you always have the opportunity to pivot, focus on where you're going to go, and restructure. So I think that's a great transition. So just talk to me a little bit about the business model. You said your niche is it's different, but it's kind of these the people that generate the leads and kind of plugging it into your vast network of lead buyers. Kind of talk to me about the revenue model and kind of how that works in your business.
For sure. So we spent that first 8 years building out those buyers, and that was really we had SEO, everyone just cranking out websites like Henry Ford process, and we're just hitting different niche, and then we're finding gutter buyers, and we're looking for franchises. Like it's easier for us, like a Precision Garage Door or Service Master, where if we can get in with a franchise, they've got multiple locations, and our model is they're paying per call, paying per lead. So it's a little different. You've got to be really solid on your lead generation to go that model. If you don't have the ability to generate leads, it's really difficult, and you can end up just spinning your wheels because people will sign up with you all day long. If you're like, hey, very small sign up fee, and you're only going to pay when you get calls. Where do I sign? But then you're left now with you have to fulfill. So the model is we try to find buyers that have large reach. We will take a buyer if there's an individual city like Chicago, but we have certain criteria. They have to have call centers. They can't be what we call one guy in a truck. Respect, love those types of guys, but they're difficult in terms of my model. And I think a lot of models, it's going to be difficult if they're not a little more established. And companies that are a little more established understand marketing. So they've spent thousands, millions of dollars on marketing some of these companies. So they understand, they know what they're getting. So with the previous life of the business, we had built out this really robust buyers network, which really at this point, we don't even need any more buyers. Now what the model is trying to fulfill as many calls as possible. So the way it works is I have a very lean team. Anything that I can automate or program, I do. And I don't know where that lies with people's political beliefs or whatever, but I am all for automating as much possible. If a computer program can do it, then let the computer program do it so the human being can focus on a higher level things. So much of my business has become automated, but my wife helps me part-time with intake of affiliates, which is really nice. So she helps screen them. We have certain standards. There's some risk dealing with affiliates because they can do illegal things like illegal telemarketing and spam emails, and I have had to deal with lawsuits, and that's, again, downs that I've had that have only strengthened me. I have another longtime employee, Kaylin Torres, who right now is working from home, but she does whatever I ask from her. Her job changes every 3 months, so she needs to be very nimble. I've got a really great longtime employee, Visionor, who I hired off Upwork maybe a few years ago, and he's awesome. His job will change. Then I have a few other odds. I have a lot of programmers that I use a lot, but hiring them only when needed. Like
project-based programmers.
Exactly. I actually had a new buyer that's coming on, and we needed to coordinate how they're going to accept the leads and work with their system. So they're exactly project-based. And then I have this group called Digitech Outsourcing, based out of India. So this is a little bit different. So I equate hiring outsourcers very similar to like the construction world, where let's say you're remodeling your house. You can hire a general contractor who's going to hire out all the subcontractors, the plumber, the roofer, etc., and you just pay him. Or you can try to project manage yourself, be your own GC, and hire a bunch of subs. So with Mijanor and Abdur and my other guys who are my subcontractors, I'm managing directly.
Mm-hmm.
But Munis, I have all these things that need to happen that couldn't be automated. So Munis is a outsourcing GC. He has a whole team of what you call subcontract outsourcers that work under Digitech, and I have one point of contact. It used to be just Munis, but his company's grown with this model, and so now I have one, Benish, who is my one point of contact for everything that I do, and then they disseminate that to all their people, and it's phenomenal. I mean, results may vary. I'm very specific, and I know exactly what I need, so I'm able to, and if it doesn't require like phone work or any interaction, then I'm able to really get a huge value. If you just think an outsourcer is going to do something for you, you're going to lose.
So in any outsourcing idea, you got to be clear. Here's what I need done. Here is the actual outcome I'm looking to get. If you don't have that, you just expect someone to step in and do a job. It's never going to work out right.
Never gonna work out right. I got kids right in the back. I forgot to close the door. Let me close this.
Take your time. Who else has kids running in the back right now? All of us, right?
Oh. Did we lose me?
I lost your camera screen for a minute. I still hear you though.
Okay.
There you are. All right, right back on track.
All right, awesome. Sorry about that.
You use Digitech, that basically is your kind of your GC that you can say, hey, look, this is what I need done, and then they handle the team of people that do the work.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what's hard to find is this. It's hard to find good outsourcers. And the few guys that I have left, I've gone through, probably 30 of these guys and girls. So what's nice with Digitech, they know my standards, they know what I need. There's turnover that's happening constantly, but they retrain their employees, and I never know. I have my one point of contact, and that's it. And then we have our KPIs and metrics that are, showing me they're doing their job, and I can easily be acknowledged. It's easy to find if anything's wrong, and I just tell them, they take care of it.
Very cool. So it sounds like your customer now is the affiliate. You're out going out to find people that are doing SEO and generating leads, and they need a place to monetize the leads.
Yes, exactly. We're our main target are SEO experts that are still chasing down clients that might not have a good sales process. And it's just like, hey, you built all these sites, let us take them. You can always go try to find, if they want to pull us from it and put on a direct client, albeit, but at least they can monetize their websites as they build out, so we can be a good, backdrop for them.
Excellent. And then, how does that work? Can you walk me through kind of how you find those guys, how you pay those guys? Can you talk about that at all?
Sure. So luckily, I've got a lot of people who refer other SEO guys who say lead smart, boom, boom. I get my best people through referrals without a doubt. I also advertise on websites called OfferVault, which is like one of the only places where you can find all of the affiliate offers and pay-per-call offers, and all the networks are on there. So that's been really good. And just our website place is really high. I've done a couple of YouTube videos, which I wasn't doing before. Seven-figure agency, I just wasn't doing. I was like, oh, I need this checklist, punching that all out. So it's just an organic. There's some paid and some organic, and it's a never-ending flow. I think we get anywhere from 3 to 10 applications a day, and we're getting much more scrutiny. We're scrutinizing them much more now after having some lawsuits because of not scrutinizing as well.
Right, because who knows, Wild West, they're going to generate leads however they generate it, and can get you in trouble and buyer of that lead potentially.
Yeah, exactly. And then I can, I have to take it all falls on me because I can't allow my client to take it. It's very difficult, even with a really good contract with my affiliates. It's very difficult to sue somebody. I cut them off, whatever. We have stipulations if they do something, but at the end of the day, you have to take responsibility for your business. You know, and I've had, but that's really strengthened me. These couple down, you know, hits down, you know, I've learned my lesson, we've tightened the process, and we're only looking for really high quality, you know, affiliates to join.
Nice. So what's an average dollar per lead for an affiliate? Depends on the vertical probably, but
yeah. So the way it works in the pay-per-call world is they have things called offers, and most offers are duration based. So let's say I'm just the Ring Partner. That's a big, most newbies start with a company called Ring Partner. They accept anyone. They have a bunch of offers. The offers don't perform that well, but this is the basic way it works is there's offers. So let's say the offer is ADT Home Security, and they pay you $50 a call. But the call has to be, they have to press 1 and then press 5 and then be on for like 240 seconds, or whatever the case is. Then you get $50. So they're high price, and a lot of affiliates chase it. What ends up happening is they end up sending, what I look is the earnings per 100 calls is really big for me. It doesn't matter how much you earned in 2 calls. How much are you earning over 100 calls? And the difference between LeadSmart and other pay-per-call affiliates is that we do a rev share base, and we'll sell the lead for anything. If we can't sell it, if let's say our top tier buyers that we're maybe selling it for $25, $30, because we're still wholesaling. We have to leave enough margin sometimes. We have a lot of other businesses like LeadSmart who buy leads from us and then sell them to their clients. So we are wholesalers, so we're not getting $75 a lead like what Home Advisor charges or whatever. So let's say we're selling a lead for $25 or $30. We start most of our affiliates off at 60%, and we'll move them all the way up to 80%. So that most affiliates, and it's a good question. Most affiliates come in to it thinking, I want the highest dollar. It's like, no, you want what can get you from an SEO standpoint, the highest volume and the most conversions. So, for example, I have an affiliate. He's doing over $10,000 a month just from dumpster rental. He owns a dumpster rental, nationwide dumpster rental site. It gets, you know, tons of calls. Dumpster rentals are one of our least paying payouts, but he is killing. He's probably getting, you know, $3 to $5 a call, but he's getting, you know, 3,000 calls, 2,500 calls a month, all from one website. And it's all he built this website years ago, and it's just paying this guy a phenomenal income. It's not that easy though. I don't want to make it sound like you can just go throw a nationwide website. It's not going to happen overnight. You got to really put a lot of time and effort. And even with that said, it's very, very difficult. I wouldn't advise anyone to do it unless they had a real day job, because it also could be taken away at any moment. If Google makes another update, which they just did, luckily most of my affiliates were fine, but I've had some affiliates that crashed.
Website disappears off the search results, and now that $10,000 a month is
gone. And you have nothing you can do about it. And it's a punch in the gut. So that's the model. We do have some affiliates that do Facebook marketing. Okay. And I also, you know, using the lead ads, as me and Josh talked about, it's a really good thing to do. If you're looking to generate leads, the lead ads are awesome. And the in-house, so what I do in-house for leads, we still have some of my employees were building SEO websites, so we still build websites as much as we can. We do Facebook ad marketing, and then we're doing, we hit the other sites too, like Let Go and some other. We used to do Craigslist heavy, but that ended. So our main thing right now is just finding SEO experts. What I do a lot proactively, which has worked, I go searching for different keywords and I look to see who's got what. And then I find sites that are not monetized. It's like, you've got this great site. Why don't you put a number on there? And it's been another real good, like, kind of cold outreach to sites that I see are placing and not monetized properly.
So your ideal person is someone that maybe has great SEO skills or great paid search skills. Maybe someone that has old websites that they put up, you know, thinking it would turn into a lead generation machine, and just kind of let it sit out there and aren't really monetizing it, and helping them figure, okay, well, let's take the leads that site generates and pump some revenue from it for you.
Yeah. I have another example. I had a guy come, and he has a septic tank website, and he couldn't find a buyer. I don't know if he had a buyer and then he lost the buyer. He's got this site, it's getting all this traffic. What can I do with it? Give it to me, you know, we'll monetize it. And it hasn't been a huge amount of money from him, but it's just been a really great way to monetize the site and just put a number on there and collect a check every month.
So theoretically, you could set up these sites, get them ranked, get them generating leads, make a little revenue selling the lead through a service like yours, Lead Smart. And then eventually, if you wanted to start reaching out to direct customers and like lease the website to them and or say, hey, if you hire my agency services, I've got this lead generation coming in and I'll do X, Y, Z, set up your website, do your SEO, do your pay-per-click. Lots of ways you could take that asset and leverage it, outside of just paying per lead if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's even how in-house, how I do it, is that we build a ton of sites and there'll be winners. If we build, in a course of a few months, we build dozens of sites, a bunch of losers, maybe some middle performing, but there might be a real big winner. Then I'll look at my buyer list in terms of, okay, I'm not monetizing this as well as I should. So let's go out and find like gutters. We got a really big influx of gutter calls. So I do I loved your post the other day. How many sales and marketing people does your $450,000 or $4.5 million business do? One, which is insane. So that's the same with me. So if I need a client, because I have the calls, then I'll go and find it.
Got it. Very, very, very cool. So if someone wanted to learn specifically about this piece of what you do and how they could become one of your affiliates, what would be the best place for them to plug in?
Just go to leadsmartinc.com, LEAD smartinc.com, and then there'll be an affiliate tab. Once you register, it's going to open up another page, and it breaks all the different programs down, payout expectations, how it all works. It's cool. So we assign every affiliate that we approve a dashboard and a tracking phone number, or as many tracking phone numbers as they need. And then they get real-time notifications for every call with the recording, so they can hear what's going on. And then we do our reporting one day in arrears. So at 8 a.m. for the previous day, all of their calls and their dashboard will update with their revenue of what they sold for. And then we pay most of our affiliates once a month. At some affiliates, we pay weekly if they're doing like paid ads and they just need to turn over that money quicker. So we're super flexible.
Excellent. So, I mean, definitely if you've got website assets out there that you're not really monetizing, or maybe you're not getting a maximum cost per lead, definitely worth checking out the Lead Smart and seeing whether that's a network to plug into. And or if you've got great SEO skills, but let's say you haven't been able to go out and land clients and you feel like, hey, look, why don't I set up a bunch of websites, get them ranked, and know that I've got this thing I can plug it into to generate leads? That might be a great fit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what I do too is if an affiliate comes in, like water damage, I'll give you an example. If I know the affiliate can go to another network and make way more money, I always tell them, because that's going to happen anyways. I know if it's out there and they're another company that's advertising it, they're going to find, and it looks better. I think just in doing business, I'd rather prefer like 33-mile radius. They pay like $100 a call. It's amazing for water damage. We're nowhere near that, so I just move them on, and
just go there. Don't bother with me.
Yeah, it's just better for everyone. So if people do reach out to Lead Smart and they tell me what niche they've got calls for some reason we can't accommodate it, I'm really plugged into the community, and I'll tell you which company to go to.
Very cool. So what verticals are you in, and what verticals have you found to be most profitable? It's just something I get all the time. If it's profitable from a lead gen perspective, it's probably profitable as a niche to target. Can you speak to the niches that you're seeing the most success in?
Yeah. So the key word is emergency based. That's whatever you're picking should have something that doesn't depend on the economy or anything that's going on, even COVID or whatever. The first week of COVID, my bathroom backed up and the house started to smell, and I didn't care what was going on. We're calling a freaking plumber. It doesn't matter. And the same thing with heating and cooling. When it's 100 degrees in Florida down there, your AC breaks, you have to call. You beg, borrow, steal, whatever you got to do to get money, you're going to pay to get it repaired. It's miserable without it. It's like life-threatening. Same thing up here in Chicago. In the middle of winter, it's negative. We've got a polar vortex, and it's negative 15 wind chill, and your furnace goes out. This is life or death situation. And not trying to prey off that, but that's the mentality that you got to do when you pick a niche. So dentist is awesome. People always need a dentist. HVAC, electrician, plumber, roofing. What are some other ones? Water damage. So those are really good. And not to say that landscaping isn't awesome, and painting and remodeling and all those other core trades that aren't going anywhere. But those are the first things that, and it's kind of weird. I can't use COVID as a great example because home improvement in general didn't really miss much. I mean, people still got remodeling done. And as Josh knows, that plumbing and HVAC was, you couldn't even tell that anything happened.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the nature of it, because people aren't doing plumbing and HVAC for fun. They're doing it when they need it.
Yeah.
So that's the key. So, and what I really do is this. So what's key for SEO, try to place for plumber city name. It's going to take you a long time and a lot of resources. But now try to place for, let's say, tankless water heater zip code. That's going to be something you can place for. Or what are some niches within niches? Electrical generator, backup electrical generator installation. That's a great one. Let's see what some other ones. Just like gutter cleaning. You can also think about this, and this isn't to down any profession, but think about the trades. They're not, some trades, plumbing and HVAC, different. These guys are sophisticated. They're spending big bucks. They know the game. Gutters, paving, driveway sealing, even landscapers. They're not a sophisticated group of business owners. Doesn't mean that they're not awesome entrepreneurs, make tons of money, whatever. But their SEO is lacking, and you can really bully it and take those spaces over. So that's my general overall thought on niches.
Good, great feedback. Being that you've got a great background in SEO, I think one of the things we talked about that I thought was interesting, our model is very much get the client, get them to pay you a monthly fee, $1,000 to $2,500 a month, and just maximize their lead flow, whether it's through their website, SEO, pay-per-click, local service ads, actually buying some of the lead services like Google local services, maybe even Home Advisor or some of those. And then, the other aspect is helping them track it and nurture the leads to generate as many leads as possible. But what often happens is there's a gestation period for a lot of this stuff, right? We're going to build up a new website. We're going to get it ranked. We're going to try and generate results for you, but it might take 2, 3, 6 months before it's really firing on all cylinders. You had some cool ideas we were talking last time about like quick wins that you could do for the client just to show some activity so they get some calls, so they get some leads, so they get some streaks on the board. I found if you can get the client a result in the first 2 to 3 weeks, they're twice as likely to stick around with you for 3 months. And it really sets the pace for the relationship. So let's talk a little bit about some of those quick win ideas that we were talking about the other day.
Let me show you. Not to be cheesy, that's $20. This right here, used properly with any major service in any major metro, top 100 metros, this right here will guarantee you within the first 24 to 36 hours phone calls using Craigslist. Okay, so Craigslist are $5 an ad. For years, Craigslist had this a bad connotation to it, and it was actually free to post in the skilled service section. So all of these affiliate marketers from all over the world were just pounding it, and even the contractors were just pounding. Back in late 2017 or 18, Craigslist said it's all paid. $5 an ad. It wiped out all those affiliate marketers because they require you to have a United States credit card, etc. So right now it's wide, and it's even more wide open now because there was just another recent sweep that I was part of, which ended a lot of the affiliate marketing. But what you can do is right now, let's say you have a plumber, a painter, any of the major trades, putting an ad on Craigslist, and not just one is $5 last 30 days. Spend $20. Post one ad a day for 4 days. I promise you will get phone calls for your clients. So one of the things that I would do is when you sign up your clients, include in the verbiage of your contract, and as you tell your client, we're going to market you using SEO, pay-per-click, Facebook, various classified websites. You don't have to mention Craigslist, but just say that what you're going to do so they're not surprised they're getting a call. Whoa, where's this call coming from Craigslist? And then they also don't want to think that, oh, I can just go do this myself. Like, just listen. You just got a call within 48 hours of me signing up. This is just the start, and that really, they're not going to leave you just to go post ads. And they can. I had to say, have I had a client find out that all the first ads were coming from Craigslist and leave me and go right to Craigslist? Sure, it's happened. But it is like Josh saying, quick wins. It happens so quickly that you can get traction from it. What I would suggest is put a tracking phone number on it so you can separate that from the other marketing, and you can also make sure the client knows that call is being procured by your advertising services. So that's the first spot, Craigslist. Next place is you're going to go is to Let Go. Let Go is awesome as well. with Let Go, instead of phone calls, you'll get a lot of people who will reply. Let Go is very similar to like OfferUp. It's just a new version of Craigslist, you know, the 2020 version of Craigslist. Most people will reply to you asking you for a quote. So then you would have to reply back, please call this number, etc.
It's not like a Thumbtack style, like lead generated site.
Yes, but it's free, which is awesome. You can boost your posts, but it's free. The next place you want to try to post on is Facebook Marketplace. Now, it's tough to get around. They say on there, Facebook Marketplace, that and this is free as well, they say that you can't post services, but go onto your Facebook Marketplace, put in your city, search for plumber, search for electrician, search for an HVAC. You'll see guys and girls have figured out how to get their ads on. Success leaves clues. Another one mentor told me, success always leaves clues. So you can get your ads on Facebook Marketplace for services. Just figure out what the other people are doing. Normally what I do is, let's say I'm in Miami. I've got a plumber in Miami. Let's see what guys in Chicago and Boston are doing. And then I'm going to take pretty much that same ad, modify it for myself, and post it in Miami. The reason I'm going to do that because I know Facebook has already accepted that. The worst thing that can happen to you, if Facebook says, oh, you shouldn't be posting it, they just send you a message and say, oh, sorry, we took down your ad. They're not going to delete your account. You're not risking anything. So that is another great place. There again, you've got to be prepared to interact. Let Go and Facebook Marketplace will get you a lot of people to respond, like, oh, I'd like to get a quote, or how can I get more information? And you have to determine, do you just want to give them the phone number, which works, but what's better, which we found, over tens of thousands of leads, is that we just ask them, if you can get your zip code and your phone number, and we'll have the contractor give you a call. And then we have a lead flow that just
the next 2 to 3 steps before you flip it over the fence.
Yeah, because what you'll find is, let's say you get 10 of these leads, 10 people respond, and you respond all to them with a phone number. Maybe 2 of them will call. And I'm just using rough numbers here. Maybe 2 of them will actually call out of those 10. But if all 10, you respond back, says, hey, can I just get your zip code to make sure you're in our service area, and your phone number, and I'll have so-and-so call you back. You'll probably get more, just guessing, 5 to 6 people that will say, okay, here's my name, or you already have their name, Facebook, but here's my number, here's my zip code. Now you've captured it, and now you can go ahead and deliver that lead. And whether they get a hold of that lead or not, I mean, you have to figure out what your deal is with them. But they're going to love, if you do those 3 things, Craigslist, Let Go, Facebook Marketplace, right out of the gate, it's going to cost you $20 and maybe an hour's worth of work. That will guarantee leads. The only way that you wouldn't get leads is that, let's say you're doing like, you're a shoe repair store in middle of Iowa.
Some random service in a random small town.
Yeah, exactly. Major, and when I say major city, really clean up in, like, I'm in Chicago, where the sweet spot are the suburbs, because just Lake County alone, we have 100.
Plainfield.
Exactly. And then the zip codes, because think about how, even if you don't search with zip codes, millions of people search with zip codes every day, and it's way easier to, from a long tail keyword standpoint, always include that zip code. Zip code keyword is really much easier to place than city name keyword. City names probably get you more traffic, but the low-hanging fruit, that's what you should really make sure you're grabbing.
Makes sense. Any other tactics that you found to work well to get a site ranked quicker or to generate some quick wins for clients?
Yeah, that right off the bat really works well. I'm trying to think also is Facebook group posting. So this is a little bit different. What you're going to do is you're going to join all the local groups. So let's use Chicago as an example, or Lake County. You got to kind of know your market. And what you're going to do is this. Let's say the client sends you back, they have 60 cities in their list. You're going to go on your Facebook, and you're going to type in city name, buy, sell, trade, or city name, garage sale group. And you're going to join every group that you can. And then what you're going to do is, similar ad that you're posting on Craigslist and Let Go, you can do about 60 a day before Facebook will say, oh, you're going too fast. They detect it as a kind of a spam. But you hit those groups hard, and that's another free place that you can advertise. Again, you want to be in a more denser metro area. Trying to do this in a small one single city area. Maybe like I'll use Tucson, for example. Tucson really doesn't have, in my understanding, doesn't have much of a suburb. It's just kind of out there in the desert south of Phoenix.
All Tucson, right. That's all you've got, right.
It's all Tucson, but it depends how many groups there are. I can't imagine there being more than maybe 10 or 15 buy-sell trade groups. But then take Lake County, Illinois, there's probably 500 of them. So that's another really good place. I found the leads are really high quality using this method. Same thing with Marketplace, they're pretty high quality. And the other thing is called mass page builder. So these are types of softwares that build they take a boilerplate, like a boilerplate template, and they utilize that to build all other pages for that market. So let's say, again, use that 60 cities or 100 cities. And there's a couple of them. There's SERP Farm is my favorite one. And that's SERP, SERP, that's search engine results page. It's farm, SERP, and it's SERP.farm. I actually have a tool that I built as well, but I kind of like SERP Farm even better. My tool is City Page Pro, but if you would ask me which one, I like SERP Farm a little bit better than City Page Pro for a couple reasons. Eventually, I'll modify my software to do that. So that's a good thing. There's a couple other ones out there, but if you just Google mass page builders, see what's out there. You don't have to, you can also, this is where you can make a nationwide site if you want. But I think it works really well on utilizing, like how, and these are quick wins. This is more of a 2 to 3 month process.
Long-term play, right?
Kind of a strategy I would deploy would be make a really nice website for them. That's their home base. Mm-hmm. Then you make, so let's say plumbing, for example. Then you make these kind of satellite lead generation sites, and you don't use their business name, and you don't use the phone number. You don't want to mess with the NAP in terms of like your citations and all that. And then you start making these niche websites where there's a page made for every city, and then you start hitting that tankless water city name or zip code, and broken pipe repair, clogged drain repair, a toilet website. A really well-rounded campaign might have a main site for the company, and then maybe 4, 5, 6 of these little lead generation websites that are really targeting, like micro sites, pretty much, just really targeting those long tail keywords specific to the niche. Like,
do you find those microsites still rank? Because I know for a long time they did, and we all felt like, oh, that's going to disappear. They're not going to rank anymore. I still see a lot of those sites out there ranking for random key terms. Like, how did this come up?
Yeah, it's back. I think Google, they had this whole spam division, and it's in Hyderabad, India, and they were hard. And then they kind of left. Now they're really onto GMBs, Google My Business Listings. I think they're scrutinizing that way more than the local SEO. But the key thing is this: doesn't matter if you know SEO or not. How you learn SEO is simply this: put in a keyword that you want to place for. Analyze those top 10 results. See what they're doing. Now, if you see it's Yelp, Home Advisor, one of these big brands, skip those. Yeah, skip those. Look to see what the small guy did to get there. You can use tools like majesticseo.org, and that you can pop that in there. They'll give you 2 free uses every day, and it will give you a score on that website to kind of tell you how powerful you need to be. So that's real key. There's real SEO research, seeing what's placing, and you'll see some things are really soft, like do backup electrical generator installation city name. Don't do Chicago. Do like a smaller city, or Fort Myers, or even smaller than that. And see what's placing. You'll see, oh wow, there's nothing placing. You'll know when there's nothing placing.
You just have a page. Just create a page with the title tag and the content, and you're off to the races.
It's back to like the early 2000s again, where you just need to have the keyword. So that's huge, and I think there's literally hundreds of millions of keywords that are soft and are out there in the service section.
Good stuff. Hey, post useful, thanks, something like that in comments. If that was helpful, we shared a lot of really cool quick wins, some really nice tools like Majestic SEO and the Mass Page Creator. Really appreciate it. So you kind of, now you've got this great business going. You're back at 150,000 in monthly recurring, probably more like 200 once COVID has passed us. If you could kind of go back to when you started, back to the beginning, how did you land your first handful of clients? For those that are kind of in that place in their business, what was the approach to land your first, let's just call it 5 clients?
For sure. So back then, a little bit different, just cold calling and just, hit them with we just hit this cold call and trying to get past the gatekeeper, get into the person, make the appointment. And that's how we did it. It was, just normal hard sales. Now what we do, and I posted in the private group, I love contact form marketing. So most websites have a contact us form on it. And basically, if you look at the open rates for messages that come in through your contact form versus a cold email, I mean, it's substantially different. Maybe, would you say, 5% open on a cold email? Would that be successful, right?
Yeah, if you're lucky, yeah.
If you're lucky, 5%. the open rate on these are like over 90%. And if you think about it, if a contact us comes through your website, the chances of you opening it are really high, because that's a great place for business owners, that they're going to get new clients. So utilizing that is a great place to get your message. And I use a tool called GSA Contact Form. It's $100, one-time fee. It's a desktop thing, and you can just send thousands and thousands of messages a day. You can also create like your own list. Let's say you had a list of targets, because like the seven-figure agency has criteria of what type of clients you should go bring after. You should just blast them off to everybody, and I agree with that. So you can create your own list. And whether you use this tool or not, it doesn't matter. It's the principle applies. You can create your list and hire a VA to submit all that. If you're just starting out, don't buy anything, don't do anything, put your own sweat equity into it. Come up with a list and start hitting them up. What I find, even to take that one step further, if we're staying in the home service area, go to Home Advisor and see who are the big players for each one of the, like, let's say you're going after electricians. Go and you want an electrician in Denver. Do electrician, Denver, Home Advisor. They'll show you all of their biggest players, and those guys are spending giant money. So those are the ones you want to talk to. So you can maybe create your custom list off that, find their website, send them a message, and that's probably the number one way that I would recommend.
That's a great point. What you're looking for is propensity to spend, right? And if they're spending, if they're one of the top people on Home Advisor, they spent a lot of money to get those leads, right? So you're looking for propensity to spend, and then you can get their attention saying, look, I've got a better way. If you're spending, $35 a lead over here, and every one of those leads is getting sent out to 6 other guys, what if I could get you direct leads for the same or less? Would you like me to help you with that? You know what I mean? So I think that's a smart play. And you and me both, how do we get our first 5 clients, right? We didn't have inbound funnels. We didn't have Facebook ads pumping us full. We picked up the phone. We called prospects. We got their attention, and we asked for the business. So, there's easier ways, but the fact is, when you're starting out, you got to do whatever it takes to get prospects' attention and get the business. So don't feel like you're going to usually start with a magic pill. You got to build up, to that level over time, right?
Yeah, I agree. And with that said too, is I don't think you want to go much more past probably 5 clients at first. You got to get your stride in, because you might be a great salesperson. You might be able to get these contracts left and right, but if you can't fulfill and you don't have that fulfillment process down, you're going to get squashed. So really take those first 5, like, so important. So you're creating and be extra, A-type about it. Just do everything by the book, because when you get to 25 clients, it's a whole different ballgame, and it can swallow you up if you're not prepared. If you haven't prepared in that first 5, you get to 25, the whole thing might fall apart.
So make sure you crush it for the 5 you've got, because they will become your proof that you know what you're doing, right? Your case studies, your word of mouth, and build the systems around it. Like, what works, who's going to do what are the steps? I think that's a great insight. You can't just focus on sales and let all of the delivery fall to the wayside.
Yeah, totally agree.
Awesome. So we're coming down. You've got a meeting that's coming up. If you have questions for Matt, post them in comments. We'll do our best to address them. I know that almost all successful people have done a lot of training and development to get where they are, right? Reading books, training courses. What are some of the books and training resources that have had the biggest impact on you?
Well, one I won't mention because of political reasons. Think Big and Kick Ass, way before he was a politician. I was, okay, man, that was it. So I'll say that before. Another one, Think and Grow Rich. Back here, really what has, I love the David Goggins. That really has, helped me want to deal with more. Forget the name of it, but we all know that book. I'm big into biographies of successful people. So I'm always looking for learning the story of, JP Morgan Chase and Vanderbilt and all those. I love hearing these, these stories and reading those biographies. So that's it. And, I really follow Neil Patel. I try to follow people in SEO. And I try to learn from everybody. That's really my big thing is wherever I'm at, and you're maybe here or wherever we're talking financially, like I want stuff I don't know that I want to know, and I try to learn from everyone in at any level.
That's great. Good resources there. I think those are all great resources to tap into. Final question as we wrap up. What would you say to that agency owner? What additional nugget of wisdom would you share for that agency owner that's kind of where they're at? They're looking to get to the next level.
So it's a great question. So I remember in the very beginning, 2009, the first few years were rough. I had transitioned out of this really awesome real estate career that I had, and I had transitioned, and I was not making the money I was. And I remember saying to my partner at the time that if we can just make $10,000 a month from the internet each, walk away, I'd be so happy. That's all I need in life. I would be so, if I didn't have to go to get a corporate job and I didn't have to answer to anybody, just $10,000 a month. So I think about that all the time. I think about what I originally set out to do and where I'm at. So here's the thing is, if you're going to do this, decide what you're going to do. Take your time to make your decision, choose your niche, all that. But once you've made that decision, you have to go full bore, and you cannot count the cost. So like, obviously you're going to count the cost and the financials, but in terms of don't count the cost. Figure out what it is that you want. Set a really specific goal and then go for it. And whatever happens, it doesn't matter. You're just, I think of myself as like the Terminator, just walking, I'm just coming towards my goal. You will get there. And it might not be that road that you thought, and you might not even end up where exactly you want it to go, but you'll get where you need to go, which is going to be defined by if you quit or not. So that's my main message to the new people.
Set the target, decide you're going to do it, and then whatever it takes, do the work and make it happen.
If you got to lose an arm on the way, lose it, but you have to decide ahead of time you're willing to go all in. So if you're not willing and you're worried about it, then don't do it. But once you've fully decided to die for it, essentially, not really, but that's the mentality you have to have. And then you go, and then you'll be able to take so many hits because you've already decided I'm willing to do anything to get it. So when little things happen, it doesn't matter.
Love it. 100%. There's a quick question in here from Josh Brisbane. He says, if you were starting your agency out from scratch and you were going to do a niche focused agency, what niche would you start with?
I really like backup electric generators. A lot of people want them. I'm probably down by you, Josh. Everyone has. Probably they're a big deal. You get your power knocked out. I think with where things are going, people are going to start prepping more. People are going to start prepping more, like being prepared for this crazy new world that we all of a sudden pivoted into. Mm-hmm. So backup electrical generators is an awesome niche. Mini split ductless air is another really good niche. A lot of people are doing these mini splits, and it's a really soft keyword, but it's a high dollar, it's a high ticket item. I also like gutters is a great niche. What are some other sprinkler systems is a great niche. Everyone who has a lawn sprinkler. Yeah, that's another great niche. And then also fire sprinklers inside, so that maybe it could be, a lot of times it's similar companies that do it. Sometimes it's
water protection systems.
And then a niche that's competitive, but it's paying out just huge money is water damage because it's insurance based. So think about this. Appliance repair has huge volume, but an average appliance repair ticket's $100, $150. And if it's two more than that, they're just going to buy a new appliance. Yeah. So you really got to balance that. Something that has high volume and also is high ticket and also is low comp. So that's why I think my number one, if I had a gun in my head, what I had to pick, I think I'm going into business as the backup electrical generator. That's my niche. I think that's what I would go with. But even electricians as a whole, they're not as competitive as HVAC and plumbers. Electricians is kind of like that third little sect of that, but it's so needed. It's intertwined in all construction. Yeah,
great feedback. So this was great. DJ is asking if we get a link. Yeah, we'll get a link for you. I read Josh's question wrong. He was actually, if you had one software you could choose to start out, what software would you use? And then we've got to wrap up because you've got to jump on your call.
Yeah, it's hard to say what software I would use. What I would say this, I would really say not a software. If you're talking about Outreach GSA, if you're talking about mass page builders, SERP Farm or City Page Pro, if you're talking about building websites, Theme Forest and using Elementor, I would say that right. That's probably the easiest way to launch sites. And then Craigslist. say Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist #1. It is an unbelievable place, especially right now, to get leads for your clients. And at $5 a pop, make sure you invest at least $20 so you can see it, because you might not get a call for your first ad. But if you spend $20 after your fourth ad, you're going to start getting some calls.
Good stuff. Great insights. Congratulations on the bounce back, the pivot, and the massive success. I'm sure really it's much even bigger things ahead. So thanks for taking the time. Thanks for sharing your success and all of these great insights. If you're watching this, be sure to be sure to thank Matt, send him a personal message. If you're interested in learning more about Lead Smart, definitely check that out. If you've got leads that you want to monetize, that's a great channel to plug into. So that's it for now. Matt, thanks again for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Pleasure being on. Thanks so much, Josh.
Talk to you later.